Hello everyone, this is Jason with Levelhead Trading, giving you another video today on Boeing, my other stock that I'm very interested in, but not quite yet. So what I'm looking at in my technical analysis is first, we're going to have a gap fill on the downside. So that's where we're headed. We're very close to that happening. So I broke this down into a daily chart, a weekly chart, and then I'll touch on the monthly chart. So here's where we're at. We have these lows and highs, so we're just trading back and forth, but we're on the very bottom here. So if we can't hold this, which doesn't look like we will, then this area from here to here is the gap fill. So that starts at under psychological $200. And so the high end of this area to fill is at about 197. But I'm going to anticipate that we're gonna push lower than that, and maybe get down, into the 180s, and hopefully hold this level down here at about 176, 175. So here's how it's looking on the daily chart. We got pretty extreme initially right here on the RSI, and the daily RSI got down to 23. And then we cooled it off by having this back and forth action here. And notice currently the daily RSI is back up to about 37. So that's not considered oversold anymore. And we have the gap fill to go. And I'm just going to assume most probabilities, that's what trading is all about, probabilities that we're going to head down and get down into this gap fill and try to form a bottom, a new higher low on the bigger time frames, probably on the weekly or the monthly, not the daily, but on the weekly or the monthly. Try to, I'm going to say the monthly. We're probably looking for a monthly higher low, which will most likely be this 176 area. So we ran up, never took a break. In my other video, it was really, really extreme. We got up to 96. And so, therefore, when you go up that hard, you're going to give it back at some point. We got down to 23, and we're probably heading back down into those kind of numbers and maybe even lower on the RSI. So, also notice how when you try to have a bounce, the 200-day moving average, which is this one here, was acting as resistance. You touch it and you reject, you touch it, reject, touch it, and you reject. So in my Tesla video, if anybody has watched that, I was showing you how we are on a daily uptrend and we now caught up to the hourly 200-hour moving average. So Tesla is going up and touching the 200-hour moving average and rejecting off of it, but holding right at it. So this is the 200-day, and so we have not made a daily trend change. And so that's what we're looking for as the first step, is to make a daily trend change, but it looks like we need to go lower before that will happen. So this is the daily chart again, rejecting off of the 200-day moving average, needing to fill this gap and try to find a bottom somewhere in the range of under 200 but above 175. And very interesting, that's the same number that Tesla found its bottom at, which was 175.01. So now I'm going to go over to the weekly chart on Boeing, show you how it looks on the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, when we did that, right, when we ran straight up, we went straight up to 70, 71, 72 on the weekly RSI, 73. So we got all the way up to 73 on the weekly RSI. At no point did we really make a weekly high or low, except for maybe you can consider that one at 189. So we're heading back down to that area, somewhere in that range. So this is what the weekly chart looks like. And notice that if we proceed any lower than the weekly, the 12 period is going to cross. This is the exponential moving average. This reacts much quicker. So the exponential moving average is now looking like it's already crossed the 26 period. So when you're in a downtrend, then the 12 period pulls underneath the 26. So that's how it's looking on the weekly chart. So here's the weekly 200 moving average. So that's on the bottom, because when you pull all the way down to the weekly 200, that means, things are going badly. So on the top end is the daily moving average, which we are below, and now we are hitting the 200 week moving average. So currently the 200 week moving average is at 196, 197, and this is the candle for this week. So we just have one more day, but this is a shortened week, so we didn't have all 5 days of trading, so it's not going to have the same effect as a full week. So I'm anticipating tomorrow that we might come down and break that $200 price and finish the week that way. So also, if you look at the weekly inside bars, we have 1 week inside bar of this master one. This is the master one. And then a weekly inside bar that fits into that one, a weekly inside bar that fits into this one. But notice this week, we are breaking below these. They were inside bars. They were inside, inside, inside. But now we are breaking out of that inside range and choosing what direction to go. We either squeeze and then we pop out on the upside, or we squeeze and then we go further downward. And so that's what it's looking like, unless we have a really amazing day tomorrow to finish the week. That's the only way this could change, and and try to hold on to this 198. See, that's the level right there, 198.32, and today we got to $200.40. So if we break below that 198.32, then I'm going to say that for sure we should be testing the 190 and maybe the higher 185 area as a potential bottom for Boeing. So last thing I'm going to talk about is this line that I drew on the bottom here. So looking out into the past, this is why it's significant. If you notice that here, this is when Boeing really broke down, got all the way down to here, and then kind of double bottom right there. And then we broke above. We broke out of this area, which we needed to get back into this area. So notice during all this time, you were fighting all of this activity here. And then you finally got to here. And then your high on the weekly chart. And this will be, I'll go on to the monthly chart and show you. There's the high, which is a lower high to that one. So what happened was during this period, from here to here, what you did is you retested this area right here. You retested it, but you didn't break down and dig back into this area. So that acted as support. So you got up to here, you came down, and you held this area. So to me, I think, obviously that's probably the most key level is that 176. And we should, in my opinion, we should probably form a higher low relative to this 176, because that held very convincingly, and then we broke out and just went straight up from there. So now we're coming back down into this range, but I'm going to venture to guess that we should hold this. We should hold this. Maybe we go all the way back to it and have a double bottom right there. but we will see. So on the monthly chart, I'll show you how this looks because this will be a clear monthly level right there. So I'm going to click now to monthly, and this will look a little more cleaner because we're changing the weeks to months. And this is how, well, it doesn't really look that clean, but you can see that line. So I rarely would talk about the monthly moving average, but there's the monthly moving average, the 200-month moving average. You dipped below it here, went back down again, had those double bottoms, and then you held and got above the 200-month moving average. So this is what's happened since then, is we've gone up, and then we formed a higher monthly low, and then a higher high. Just talking about this time frame here. Here's the higher low on the monthly and the higher high. So now we need to form a new monthly higher low. And then eventually, probably years from now, or maybe a year from now, try to get over this monthly high of 267. That's still well below the all-time high, which you see is way back here. But anyway, first things first, we need to hold the monthly higher low at 176.25. So I'm pretty sure we will hold the monthly higher low. And the other thing is you have the monthly 12 period crossing over, coming back and getting tested. Not on this monthly higher low, you did not cause the 12 period monthly exponential moving average to go cross under the 26 period. And then notice how when you had that big push up again, you separated the lines. And now we're coming back and probably going to cause that monthly 12 to pull down and get very close to touching that 26 again. And if we hold this, then it wouldn't cross underneath it, I don't think. Or maybe it could. Maybe it could cross under slightly, and then we form the monthly higher low, and then work our way back up. But anyway, I think it's a good risk reward. I'm going to start buying once we get down into those 190s, and try to be pretty aggressive, and and then set my stop at the bottom here of 176. So that's my video on Boeing. Hope you like it. If you do, put some likes, comments, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe.